Good morning all of you. Myself K. Umarani, DL in Physics, TTWRDC Karimnagar. So now our India total population is 135 crores. So our India is called as Young India. So nearly 80% of the people are using cell phones. Some people are using, maximum number of people are using televisions. Some people are using microphones, micro ovens, like this. All electronic gadgets are plays very important role in our daily life. Okay, all these electronic gadgets contain number of materials, number of equipments. In that, one material is very important. So today our topic is transistor. Okay, today we will see complete information about the transistor. Okay, so here today my topic is transistor. So actually this is a symbol of the transistor. So this is a physical diagram of the transistor. Welcome to the session, all of you. So first of all, transistor was invented by three scientists. In 1947, John Bardeen, Walter Brattain, and William Shockley. So all these three scientists were invented this transistor in 1947. Okay, so this is the first transistor. So this first transistor we call as point contact transistor. Okay, point contact transistor. So these are the three scientists. Okay, so here actually what is a transistor? Okay, so what is a transistor? First we will see the transistor. So transistor is nothing but, first we see the transistor. Okay, transistor. If you divide this transistor, complete word transistor. Trans it refers abbreviation of transfer. Okay, istor nothing but it represents resistor. Okay, it represents resistor. Okay, mainly the main purpose of transistor, the main use of the transistor, it transfer low signal to high signal. Okay, high signal. It transfer mainly low signal to high signal by using transistor. Okay, so using transistor, one signal, so it low signal initially, after that increase the size of the signal. This is the main function of the transistor. So once again, transistor is nothing but it transfer the low signal to high signal. Okay, so that is a complete information, that is complete abbreviation of the transistor. Okay, actually here what is meant by signal? So signal is nothing but, if you take the sound waves, I am talking, so sound waves are producing, sound waves also signals. Okay, and if you take the current, also signal. Okay, current also signal in the form of sine waves. This is a sine wave. Voltage also signal. Okay, so the main function of transistor is, if you use the transistor, if some signal is initially very small in size, if you use this transistor, so automatically increase the size of the signal. This is the main use of the transistor. This process we call as actually amplification. Okay, so actually today we will see our topic mainly will deal first of all evaluation of transistor. So first next importance of transistor, and I will explain definition and types of transistor, and transistor symbol, advantages, present, what are the current utilities of transistor, and I will discuss some important questions from this transistor. Okay, previously asked PG entrance questions also finally I will discuss. Okay, so first of all, history of transistor. So actually we know that 5 generations of computer. Okay, so first generation, second generation, third generation, this way we have 5 types of generation of computers. Okay, so before this transistor, scientists are used this vacuum tube. Okay, this is a vacuum tube. So before this, so actually this is the first generation. So vacuum tubes are the first. So these are the used in computers. Okay, so these vacuum tubes are invented by the American scientist Lee G. Forrest. Okay, so these vacuum tubes are used in computers. Okay, these vacuum tubes are used in manufacturation of computers. Okay, but these vacuum tubes are low efficiency compared to transistor. So why transistors are came means, so transistors are high efficiency, so and long life, so it has high efficiency and long life, it has long life. Okay, and durability, high durability, and it consume I mean, so this transistor uses low current. Okay, so these are the main advantages of transistor. So that before this transistor, actually vacuum tubes are used. Okay, so this transistor replace the vacuum tubes. Okay, so actually vacuum tubes are used in radios and early computers. Okay, so this is the before this we are using we used these vacuum tubes. Okay, so after that, so these people are invented this transistor. Okay, so one question is there is this, any difference between transistor, any difference between transistor any difference between transistor or BJT? Is there any difference? No, transistor is nothing but another name of BJT. Actually BJT is complete name of transistor. So BJT is nothing but bipolar junction transistor. BJT is nothing but bipolar junction transistor. Bipolar junction transistor. Okay, so just simply we call as transistor, but actual name is BJT, bipolar junction transistor. Okay, so why we call as bipolar junction transistor? So bipolar junction transistor is nothing but bipolar, nothing but two. Okay, so nothing but two. So bipolar, polar nothing but charges. Okay, so charges, junction and transistor. Okay, so the complete abbreviation of BJT, bipolar junction transistor. Bi means two, polar means charges, and junction, we will see the junction, we will see the definition of the junction also, and next one transistor. Okay, so I mean BJT is nothing but, so this BJT is used two types of charge carriers. BJT or transistor run by two types of charge carriers, that are holes and electrons. Okay, why we call this BJT, bipolar junction transistor, is nothing but this BJT is run by holes and electrons. So here we will see some information about the holes and electrons. Okay, so here if you take the solid, we should know some basics about this semiconductor. If you take the solid, so we know the solid, the closely packing of atoms we call as a solid. In electronic purpose, solids are classified in three categories: conductor, semiconductor and insulator. Okay, conductor, semiconductor and insulator. So conductor is nothing but, example for this conductor, copper, aluminum. Okay, all metals are belongs to conductor. Okay na, and next semiconductor. So the best example for the semiconductor, silicon and germanium. Silicon and germanium are the best example for the semiconductor. And next insulator. So the example for the insulator, rubber, plastic. Okay, so the rubber, plastic, wood. So these are the example for this insulator. Okay, so here first of all we should know the what is meant by conductor. Conductor is nothing but the definition of the conductor, which conducts the electricity. In conductor we have high electricity, so that current transportation, I mean in transmission lines. So in our daily life we call as a current wire. Okay, technical we call as transmission lines. Okay, so all transmission lines or current wires are prepared by all these conductors, metals. Okay, aluminum wires, aluminum is a conductor. So why? Because why we are using aluminum means, so here the conductivity is high in the case of conductor. Okay, so in conductor the conductivity is very high. So the conductivity is represented by rho. So conductivity is high, I mean it allows a high current. So here in the case of conductor, resistance is very low. Okay, and this is the insulator. So insulator is exactly opposite to the conductor. Okay, so insulator also called as a resistor, another name is resistor. So in resistor we use so the conductivity very low, okay, nearly 0, and resistance very high. The example for the insulator is rubber, wood, plastic are the example for the insulator. Okay, so we know that all electricians are used gloves. So gloves, why? Because why they are using? For protection purpose. Okay, so that gloves are prepared by plastic. Okay, that gloves are prepared by plastic. So here one point is very important. Conductors are exactly opposite to the insulator. In the case of conductor, the conductivity is high. Resistance low. Okay. In the case of insulator, the conductivity low, resistance high. Okay. And so center one is a semiconductor. The properties of semiconductor in between conductor and insulator. Okay. The example for the semiconductor, silicon and germanium. These are the best example for the semiconductor. Okay, so the properties in between conductor and insulator. Okay, so mainly I am concentration on the semiconductor. So actually semiconductor also classified into two categories. So first one is intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, first one is the intrinsic semiconductor, and second one is the extrinsic semiconductor. Okay, so here what are the main differences between intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor? Intrinsic, the name itself explains. Intrinsic is nothing but pure semiconductor. We call as the intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, so pure is an example. If you take the silicon, so or germanium, it contains only germanium or silicon atoms only without doping. Okay, so without doping. So this material prepared, so that this material we call intrinsic semiconductor. Here we should know the meaning of doping also. Doping is nothing but adding of other atoms or adding of impurities, we call as a doping. Okay, example, if we take the silicon, so this is a silicon solid. Okay, silicon solid, if we add some phosphorus atoms to the silicon, so doping process was taken. Okay, so that so here if there is no doping, there is no foreign atoms, then that type of material we call as a intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, next one is extrinsic semiconductor. So extrinsic semiconductor is nothing but, so this is intrinsic and extrinsic. Extrinsic is nothing but, so here in extrinsic semiconductor, doping process, okay, so doping process was taking place. So here we are adding some impurities to the parent atom. So actually extrinsic, what is the meaning of extrinsic? Extrinsic is nothing but the name itself explains external atoms, external materials, external atoms are we are adding, so that material will be called as extrinsic semiconductor. So extrinsic semiconductor also classified in two categories, N-type semiconductor and P-type semiconductor. Okay, so we should know what is meant by N-type semiconductor and P-type semiconductor. Okay, so first of all I am taking fourth group elements. So example, I am taking silicon. Okay, silicon is the fourth group element. Okay, so here this silicon contains 4 electrons in last orbital. So 4 electrons in last orbital. So this silicon require 4 electrons. Okay, 4 electrons. If we add phosphorus, this is a phosphorus. So phosphorus is the fifth group element. If we add this phosphorus to silicon, it release 5 electrons. It gives, this phosphorus gives 5 electrons, but silicon require only 4 electrons. So one extra electron is present. Okay, so just if you take one atom, so one extra electron is free. If we add some 1000 number of atoms, automatically we have the 1000 number of free electrons. So this type of material will call as a N-type semiconductor. Okay, donor. So N-type semiconductor. Okay, in N-type semiconductor we should remember, so we are adding fourth group elements to the fifth group elements. Okay, so fourth group elements to the fifth group elements, automatically we have extra electron. This extra electron is nothing but a free electron. Okay, so here one point is very important. In n-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are the electron. Charge carriers, it means it carries the charge. Okay, so majority, maximum number of charge carriers are the electrons. Minority charge carriers are the holes. So this point is very important. Okay, this is a basic information about the n-type semiconductor, and we should know the some basics of the p-type semiconductor also. P-type semiconductor. So here we should know the construction of the p-type semiconductor also. Same we are taking silicon. Okay, silicon fourth group elements. So if we add this silicon to, so I mean it contain 4 electrons in last orbital. So it require 4 electrons, but if we add aluminium or gallium, indium, okay, so if you add aluminium, aluminium is a third group element. Okay, I mean, so aluminium give only 3 electrons to silicon. Okay, only 3 electron, one vacancy is there. So this vacancy we call as a hole. So here what is meant by hole? The absence of electron. We call as a hole. Okay, so here this is a construction of the p-type material. In the case of p-type material, we should remember for fourth group elements we are using third group elements. We are doping with the third group elements. Example for the third group element, aluminium, gallium, so these are the aluminium, gallium and indium are the example for the third group element. Okay, so for fourth group elements we are using third group elements. So we have some vacancy, one vacancy is there, this vacancy we call as a hole. So here one important, 2 points are very important. In p-type semiconductor, what are the majority charge carriers? So majority charge carriers are the holes. Okay, majority charge carriers are holes. Minority, minimum number of charge carriers are the electrons. We should remember. Okay, so in p-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are the holes, minority charge carriers are the electrons. Okay, so actually these are the basics. So before going to transistor, we should know all these basics, then only we will get this information. Okay, so actually this is the first bipolar junction transistor. So here next thing we should know the junction also. What is meant by junction? So junction is nothing but if you take p-type semiconductor, this is a so here this is a p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor. We know this. What are the majority charge carrier in p-type semiconductor? Holes. Okay, so holes are the majority charge carriers. Absence of electron we treat as holes have positive charge. Okay, so here and n-type, if you take the n-type semiconductor, so we know this information. What are the majority charge carriers in n-type material? Electrons. Okay, electrons are the negative charge. Okay, so electrons are the majority charge carriers in n-type material. We know this. So this is a positive and this is negative charge. Automatically attraction force is taking place between positive and negative charges. Okay, after some time we have some depletion layer is formed between a p-type and n-type material. Okay, immediately if you add this material, immediately some charges, I mean some holes are moved this side and some electrons are moved this side. Okay, after some time some depletion layer was formed in between n-type material and p-type material. So this depletion layer we called as a depletion layer also called as a potential barrier. Okay, potential barrier. So potential barrier is nothing but wall. So this potential barrier opposes the flow of charge carriers in between p-type material and n-type material. Okay, this is called as a junction. Okay, this is called as a junction. Okay, this is one is called as a junction. And we should know the forward bias and reverse bias also. Same, we are taking p-type material and n-type material. We know this majority charge carriers in p-type material holes, majority charge carriers n-type material electrons. Automatically some holes are moved this side, some electrons are moved this side. We have some depletion layer was formed in between p-type material and n-type of material. This is also we call as a junction. Okay, if we are not applying any external source to the p-type material, so this is called as unbiased p-n diode. Okay, this is called as actually diode. So actually this is we call as a diode, completely diode. So diode means di means two. So this material contain two materials, this operator contain two materials. What are that material? P-type material and n-type material. So this is called as a diode. Actually symbol of diode, this one is a diode. Okay, so if we are not applying any external source to this p-n diode, this is called as unbiased diode. Unbiased diode. Unbiased diode. Biasing nothing but applying energy, applying external source or applying external electrical energy. So we are not applying any external energy. This is called as a unbiased diode. And next we should know the forward bias and reverse bias. This is very important. Okay, forward bias and reverse bias. If you take the same p-n diode, this is a p-type material, n-type material. Okay, so this is a depletion layer. So if we apply some battery, so some battery to this p-type p-n diode, we know this. So this is a positive symbol of the battery, negative symbol of the battery. Okay, so here we know that so p-type material contain majority charge carriers, so holes have positive charge. We need this information, same type of charge. If you take the same type of charges, positive or negative, what type of force acting between these positive? Repulsion force. Repulsion force is nothing but fighting. Okay, so here these holes are not able to move this side. Okay, but these holes are try to move depletion layer side. So similarly, n-type material contain electrons. This is a negative charge. So repulsion force taking place between n-type material and this negative terminal automatically. So electrons are not moving this side. So electrons are try to move this side. So automatically the size of the depletion layer decreases. When the size of the depletion layer decreases, automatically conductivity increases. We should remember this point. When conductivity increases, resistance decreases. We should remember, always remember. So conductivity at constant, temperature is constant, conductivity and resistance are inversely proportional to each other. Okay, so when temperature constant, so conductivity and resistance are inversely proportional to each other. This formula we should remember. Okay, so my point is in forward bias, conductivity high and the resistance low. We should remember this point. And next we take the reverse bias. So reverse bias, same we are taking p-n diode, p-type material and n-type material. We have this some depletion layer, potential barrier. Okay, we are connecting to battery. Okay, so this small size, it represents a negative side and this one is a positive side. And we know that so p contain number of holes, p material contain number of holes, n-type contain number of electrons. We know this. So these holes have positive charge and this one is a negative term. So we know this information. If you take the positive and negative, so the attraction force taking place between positive and negative. So I mean, so these all holes are moved to this negative terminal and all electrons are moved to this positive terminal automatically. So here the depletion layer size increases. We know this information when there is no transferring between p-type material to n-type material. Any charge carriers are not moving between p-type material to n-type material, so automatically the conductivity decreases. Okay, I mean in reverse bias, so when depletion layer size increases, conductivity decreases. Okay, automatically resistance increases. So these 3 points are very, very important, we should remember. Okay, so here this is actually in lab they prepared bipolar junction transistor. Okay, so bipolar junction transistor. So bipolar junction transistor, actually transistor. So this is the first bipolar junction transistor. Okay, so next transistor definition. So what is the definition of the transistor? So transistor is nothing but it's an electronic device. Okay, electronic solid device and it contains 3 layers. This is the important point, 3 layers of material that can act as an insulator and a conductor. Okay, we know the insulator, already I explained about the insulator and conductor. So this transistor sometimes behave like as a insulator, sometimes it behave like as a conductor. Okay, so here already we know that information. The transistor also called as a BJT, bipolar junction transistor. Why? Because we called as bipolar junction transistor. This transistor was run by 2 charge carriers, electrons and holes. So that is called as a bipolar junction transistor. Okay, so this is a basic model of the BJT. So this one is a basic model of the BJT. So here we should remember, so actually what is a formation, what is the construction of the BJT. So BJT is nothing but, so we know this information, diode is nothing but contain 2 materials, di means 2. So but if you take the transistor, so transistor example, if you take the p type material, this is a p and p, so we sandwiched with the n type material in between a p material. Okay, so this is called as the PNP transistor. I mean transistor contains 3 materials, P and P. P is a material, N and P, and 2 junctions. Okay, this is a, in this way it has 2 junctions. So transistor has 2 junctions and 3 materials. This is a solid material also. Okay, I mean, so here we are sandwiched with the, first we take the p type material, sandwiched with the n type material, then get the PNP transistor. This is a PNP transistor. In this way, if you take the n type material, this is the n type material, so sandwiched with the p type material, this is called as a NPN transistor. Okay, we will then complete information about the p type material, PNP transistor and NPN transistor. Okay, we will see what are the majority charge carriers in PNP transistor and the operation of the PNP and NPN transistor. Okay, so see this diagram. So here emitter, so here PNP transistor, NPN transistor. Okay, so here one thing, if we take this transistor, so this center point we call as a base, center point we call as a base. Okay, initial point, this is called as a emitter, this one is called as emitter, and this point, this terminal we call as collector. Okay, mainly transistor contain 3 terminals, 2 junctions. Okay, junction, I mean interface between 2 material we call as a junction. Okay, so here the interface between P and N, this is one junction, and here this line represents junctions. Okay, I mean transistor contain 3 terminals. 3 terminals means, so this is emitter, base and a collector. Okay, and next one, this is a junctions, 2 junctions, so 2 junction. Okay, so actually the symbol of the transistor, so the symbol of the transistor, so this is a symbol of the transistor, so symbol of the transistor, so always center position base. Okay, this is a emitter and this one is a collector. Okay, and we add some arrow mark. So we should remember arrow mark always represent P to N. So P to N. Okay, and mainly the use of the arrow mark, it explains about the flow of current. Okay, the conventional flow of current, and we should remember always it represents, so always it shows P to N. So we get some confusion between what is PNP transistor and what is NPN transistor, what are the main differences between PNP transistor and NPN transistor. Okay, so if you see like this, this is a transistor symbol. Okay, so this is a transistor symbol, this is a base, this one is a collector and a base, and this one is a emitter. Okay, if you show arrow mark like this, okay, and I told you one point, this arrow mark always P to N, so this is a P to N, automatically P and P, this is a PNP transistor. Okay, and the next NPN transistor, similarly we are taking same symbol of transistor, this is a transistor, so center base and emitter, this is a base. Okay, this is a collector and this one is a emitter. Okay, so if the arrow mark like this, so here like this, so here P to, always arrow mark like P to N, so P to N, so automatically So NPN, this is a transistor symbol. This is the main difference between transistor, NPN transistor and PNP transistor. And we will learn about the what are the main purpose of the emitter, what are the main purpose of emitter, base and collector, and what are the main uses of the all these terminals, and what are the main differences between all these three terminals. Okay. So next slides I will explain this all three terminals. So actually BJT is basic configuration. Okay, already I explained to you. So this is a this is a PNP transistor. Okay, so PNP transistor. So this is a PNP transistor. So this is a symbol circuit diagram of the PNP transistor, and NPN transistor. So this one is a circuit diagram of the NPN transistor. Okay, and next one. So next thing. So already I explained to you, transistors are classified into two categories, PNP transistor and NPN transistor. Okay. So here what are the main uses of the emitter, collector and base? Okay, we should remember. So these 3 points are very important. Emitter is nothing but the name itself explain, emit the charge carriers. Okay. So actually emitter is one material. It is heavily doped. Okay, it is heavily doped material, so always it tries to emit the all charge carriers. This is the main purpose of the emitter. Okay, and next collector. Okay, so collector is nothing but collector, mainly the purpose of the collector, it collects the all charge carriers. Okay, it collects the all charge carriers. So this is the main use of the collector, and so collector was moderately doped. And next one is the base. So the interface between, so base is nothing but in between collector and emitter. Okay, actually base is very thin and lightly doped. Okay, so lightly doped with the impurities. So this is the origin of the names of all three. Okay, so transistor operation. So here so emitter, so always initial emitter, this is emitter, and this is a base, and this one is a collector. Okay, so emitter always gives the charge carriers. So base, so the main use of base, it allows the charge carriers, and so base also gives charge carriers to collector. The total current or total charge carriers are accumulated at a collector. We will take the output at this collector. Okay, and next so architecture of the BJTs. So actually, so here these are the BJT symbols. So architecture of the BJTs, PNP, NPN transistor. So basic construction of the transistor. Okay, so all this information about the transistor. So already I explained to you. So emitter is heavily doped and base lightly doped, collector moderately doped. Okay, so this is a PNP transistor. So PNP transistor. So in between we have N material. Okay, so sandwiched with the N material. So this is the circuit symbols of the circuit symbols of the PNP and NPN transistor. IB, here what is IB? Base current. IB is a base current. Okay, IC collector current, IE emitter current. Okay, so similarly here, so this is a base current PNP transistor, this is a base current, IC collector current, and emitter current. Okay, some differences between NPN transistor and PNP transistor. Okay, main thing is, so in PNP transistor, if you take the PNP transistor, okay, so here in PNP transistors mainly it contain holes. Okay, so it contain holes, so that holes are the majority charge carriers in a P type material, PNP transistor. Okay, so I mean PNP transistor mainly run by holes. Okay, minority charge carriers in P type PNP transistor are the electrons. This point is very important. And next one is the NPN transistor. If you take the NPN transistor, in NPN transistor it contain, so actually this one is run by electrons. Okay, majority carriers, charge carriers in NPN transistor are the electrons. Okay, we should remember this point. Okay, next one. So next one is common base transistor. Okay, so here I want to explain, I want to give some information about this transistor. Actually transistor, so transistors are classified into 3 categories. Okay, transistors are classified into 3 categories. transistors are classified into three categories. First one common base. First one is common base, and next common emitter, and next one is the common collector. Okay, so transistors are mainly classified. If you take the PNP transistor, NPN transistor, your wish, but transistors are mainly classified into three categories: a common base, common emitter, common collector. Okay, so we will see some information about the common base, common collector, and common emitter. Okay, so first we will see the common base. So common base, actually this is a symbol of the common base. Actually, so what is the main purpose of the common base? If you take, what is the diagram of this circuit diagram of the common base? So if you take this, this is a NPN or PNP transistor, this is NPN or PNP transistor. Okay, so or if you take like this, so here this is a NPN. If you take NPN or PNP transistor, so center we know that the base. Okay, and this one is a emitter, this one is a collector. Okay, so this base is, when this base is common to emitter and collector, this base is common to emitter and collector, then this is called as a common base transistor. So generally, if common base transistor is nothing but base was grounded, ground is nothing but we are giving zero potential to the ground. Once again repeating same point. First category is common base. Okay, first category is common base. So common base nothing but, common base transistor nothing but this base is common to emitter and collector. Okay, I mean, so automatically this base was gradually grounded. This is a main use of the common base. Okay, so next one is a diagram of the next one common emitter. Okay, so common emitter. So here NPN transistor. So NPN transistor or PNP, if you take NPN or PNP transistor, this is a base. Okay, this one is a collector. When, so this emitter, when this emitter is common to collector and base, so this is called as a common emitter transistor. I mean, gradually it grounded to the, it applied zero potential to emitter. This is known as a common emitter transistor, common to collector and base. Similarly, common collector also. So collector terminal is common to emitter and base, then that is called as a common collector. Okay, so here this is the main differences between, these are the main differences between common base, common collector, common emitter configuration. Actually this is a common base NPN transistor. Okay, so this is a common base. So here base is grounded. Okay, so actually, so this is a input signal, we are giving input signal here and we get the output signal here. So the size of the signal so increases, so this is called as amplification. Okay, the main purpose of transistor was amplification. And if you increase the volume of the microphone or cell phone, nothing but we are using the transistor, we are using number of transistor. Our cell phone or our tabs or computers contain 1000 number of transistor. Okay, if you increase the volume, nothing but we are using number of transistor. Okay, so the main purpose of a transistor amplify the signal. Okay, and next one is this is a circuit symbol of the common emitter. So common emitter transistor. Okay, so this one is a common emitter was grounded, or emitter is in between base and collector, then this is called as a common emitter transistor. And next one is common collector. Okay, so common collector transistor. So here, I mean, collector's terminal is in between base and emitter, then this is called as a common collector transistor. Okay, so here I want to give some important information about the transistor. Why signal, the size of the signal is increases? What is the reason? What is the basic reason? I want to explain that point. Okay, so if we take the transistor, so here this is a transistor, NPN or PNP transistor. Okay, NPN or NPN transistor. We know that this center position base, emitter and a collector. Okay, so here we should remember one important point, that is, so always this is emitter, base and a collector. Okay, so this junction we call as the emitter base junction. This junction we call as emitter base junction. So this junction we call as a base collector junction. Base collector junction. Okay, we should remember emitter base junction always in forward bias. Forward bias. Okay, and next one is emitter base collector junction always in reverse bias. Always in reverse bias. Emitter base junction always in forward bias, base collector junction always in reverse bias. Why? Because, okay, so why this signal? If you initially we are using small signal, we fed small signal to transistor, so automatically the transistor amplify the signal, we get the high signal, the size of the signal increases. Why? What is the reason? What is the basic reason? Is nothing but this point explains. Okay, already explained to you. We know this forward bias. Already explained to you. Forward bias. We know this information. Conductivity low, resistance low. Okay, conductivity high, resistance low. And if we take the reverse bias, conductivity low, resistance high. Okay, resistance high. So if this emitter base junction forward bias, emitter base junction forward bias, nothing but what happens, resistance low, in forward bias we know this resistance low. Okay, resistance low. Okay, but in the case of reverse bias, so this base and collector junction in reverse bias, RB. So in reverse bias we have resistance high. Resistance high. We know this temperature constant. We know this important formula, V is equal to IR. V is equal to IR. So initially we give small signal to transistor, nothing but in forward bias, I mean resistance low signal. So the voltage is low. Okay, if this signal is, this voltage is passed through the base, but this base collector junction in reverse bias, automatically in this area the resistance high, automatically when resistance increases, voltage also increases. So this is a basic reason. Okay, so that the signal size is increasing. Okay, so first of all, once again I am repeating same point, emitter base junction always forward bias, base collector junction always in a reverse bias, and we should remember this formula also, IE is equal to IB plus IC. I is nothing but emitter current, IB base current, IC is a collector current. Okay, so this is a formula. I mean, so the total current is nothing but combination of the total emitter current is nothing but combination of the base current and collector current. Okay, so actually this symbol explain. So the output current or output voltage in between large and small values. Okay, and next important point, another point is also very important. So here these transistors are constructed, or these transistors are operated in 3 ways. Okay, so 3 ways. So these transistors are operated in 3 ways: cutoff region, so linear region, or active region. This is also called as active region. So active region, this one is a saturation region. Okay, what are the main, we should know what are the main differences between cutoff region, linear region and saturation region. Okay, so first we take emitter base junction and base collector junction. Okay, so but actually maximum transistors are operated in emitter base junction always in forward bias, and this one is a reverse bias. Automatically we get the amplified signal. So this region we call as active region. This region we call as active region. When transistor emitter base junction in forward bias, base collector junction reverse bias, so this region we call as a active region. Okay, so active region. If emitter base junction forward bias, base collector junction also forward bias, so this region we call as a saturation region. Okay, so transistor are automatically saturated, so this region we call as a saturation region. Okay, if this one is reverse bias, so this one is a forward bias, then this is called as a inversion region or cutoff region. Okay, I mean nothing but this, at this situation transistor is not working. Okay, switch off time. Okay, so this is a switch off mode. So these are the main differences between, so differences between cutoff region, linear region and the saturation region. We should remember So saturation is nothing but two junctions, emitter base, base collector in forward bias. So linear region or active region is nothing but emitter base in forward bias, base collector in reverse bias. Cutoff region, so both junctions are reverse bias. Okay, so we know this according to this picture we should understand the information. So when transistor in cutoff region, this is off mode, transistor is not working. Okay, not flow of charge carriers. So linear active region, so this one is on position. Okay, transistor is working. And saturation region, so saturation region is nothing but, so here it flows more number of charge carriers. Okay, so here, so mainly actually types of charge transistors also BJT, UJT, unipolar junction transistor, field effect transistor, and metal oxide transistors. Okay, metal oxide semiconductor transistor also. So this is a basic circuit of the BJT. Okay, so this is a basic circuit of the BJT, and so we know this center position base, emitter and collector. Okay, and operation of the BJTs, we know this cutoff region, we can operate in cutoff region, saturation region and active region. Okay, in active region only we get the amplified signal. And so these are the input and outputs characteristics of the these BJTs. Okay, so these are the input and outputs of the BJTs. So here if you take the BJT, so here along the x axis we are taking voltage, along y axis collector current. Okay, if increase the voltage, so slowly it increase the voltage, rapidly it increase the voltage and get the constant value, and it get the maximum saturation value. Okay, so maximum saturation value. So here in between this area we call as a active region. Okay, this area is called as a active region. So in this way, this is a circuit characteristics of the transistor. And already we know this information, transistor total emitter current is equal to collector current and base current. Okay, and another formula is there, the alpha is equal to IC is equal to alpha DC IA. Okay, if you take the transistor like this, okay, so this is a base, and so this one is a base, and next one is, this one is a collector, and this one is a emitter. Okay, so we are giving signal to this transistor. Okay, and we are so taking output here, so this is RL, so we are taking output here. So here if you take NPN transistor or a PNP transistor, so this is a IB region. Okay, so if this base is common to this emitter and collector, then it is called as a common base transistor. Okay, so here we take the load, I mean we take the output here, so this is this one we call as a load resistance, we get the total output here, so this is the output. When base is common or grounded, so here the gain factor, okay, so here gain factor is nothing but alpha, so the output, so here output current IC, so this is we call as IC, so this one is called as a emitter current, IC by IA. Okay, the output current by input current, we are using, this is the input, so input current, so this is called as the current gain alpha, IC by IA. From this we can write IC is equal to alpha into IA. Okay, alpha into IA. So this is a relation between IC and alpha E in a common base. Okay, in this way we can get alpha beta DC. So this is a common emitter configuration, we get this beta DC. DC is nothing but direct current. Okay, in direct current, so this is a alpha formula. And next, so DC analysis of formulas also according to Kirchhoff laws. So VCC minus ICR, so we can apply Kirchhoff laws and we will find out the voltages also. Okay, and next another point is Q point. Okay, so Q point is nothing but quotient point. Okay, quotient point is nothing but, so what is meant by quotient point? So this is also another characteristics of the transistor. Okay, another property of the transistor. If you take the voltages like this, So here this is the voltage along x-axis and current, collector current at the along the IC. Okay, so we draw some graphs along with the base current also. Okay, at which point, okay, at the point at which the base current curve, this base current curve intersect this load line. Okay, this line we call as a load line. Okay, so load line is nothing but, according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. So R resistance, V by I. So this resistance also called as a load line. Okay, so here, so this base current, at which point this base current line intersect with this load line, then this is called as a quiescent point. So this is also another characteristics of the transistor. Okay, so and the next use of the transistor behave like a switch also. Okay, when this transistor operate in cutoff region, it behave like as a switch. Okay, we know the switch very well, so it behave like as a switch. So this is a circuit diagram of the switch or transistor. When transistor act as a switch, this is a circuit diagram. I mean, both two junctions are in cutoff region. I mean, this is called as a open circuit. Okay, this one is called as a open circuit. When these two are in forward bias, or so this is called as a closed switch. Okay, closed circuit when, I mean, transistor is working. And next application. So this one behave like as a switch. This is one application of the transistor, and it behave like as an amplifier. Okay, already I explained to you why we get the high signal. So when emitter base junction in forward bias and base collector junction in reverse bias, due to that reason only, when transistor operated in active region, we get the high signal. Okay, this is a main important application of the transistor. So in our microphones and telephones and all electronic gadgets, using transistor by mainly this purpose only, by amplification purpose only. So transistors are used in all electronic gadgets. Okay, so here first of all we are giving small signal. By applying transistor we get the high signal. So this is called as amplification. The increasing size of the signal we call as the amplification. Okay, like this, here we are giving small signal, we get the high signal. So this is called as a amplification. This is another application of the transistor. Okay, so another application of the transistor. And future of the transistor, we can use transistor in molecular electronics and carbon nanotubes and nano inspiration wire transistor, quantum computer also we are using transistor, and CMOS also we will use. And next, so some biology applications also we have. So biology may provide new technologies to bottom up assembly. I mean, so in nanotechnology we will use in transistor. Okay, so this transistor we will use in nano transistor also. Okay, so and now what are the current application of the transistor? So in 3D technologies also, we are using transistor. So with the 22 nanometer large technology also we are using transistor. Okay, so this is called as a tri-gate transistor. So these tri-gate transistors are very efficient, and so the consumption of power also very low, 50%, they consume 50% only. Okay, so these are the current applications of the transistor. And so we have in market, we have practically some number of these transistors are available. So practical, these are the transistor, T018 transistor, T039 metal transistor. Okay, so if you go the electronic shop, will buy this, will see this type of transistor. Okay, so with the low cost only we will get this transistor. Okay, in our my physics lab also we have some application of transistor, RC coupled transistor. Actually this is RC coupled transistor. So we did experiment on this transistor. Actually this is one type of transistor, that is RC coupled transistor. I mean, we are using RC coupled amplifier. We are connecting R and C. R nothing but resistance, C is the capacitor. Okay, when we apply resistance and capacitance to the transistor, and so we can construct RC coupled amplifier also. Okay, we did some experiment with the transistor. Okay, this is my physics lab. And Next, so we will see some previous questions on the transistor. Okay, previous, these all questions are we get all these questions from previous PG entrance questions, CP GATE and CU set exams also. Okay, so CU set and CP GATE previous papers, we got some important questions on this transistor. Okay, first question, P type semiconductor. So first question, this is a CP GATE question. P type semiconductor can be prepared by doping silicon with. Okay, so doping P type semiconductor, we know this P type semiconductor, what are the majority charges? Holes. Okay, so in construction of P type semiconductor, we are using so silicon to gallium. Okay, silicon to gallium or aluminium, indium. Okay, so we are doping with gallium or aluminium or indium. So this is the answer. And second question, in a PNP transistor, current flow is mainly due to the, so already explained to you, in P-type PNP transistor mainly this one is run by mainly holes. Holes are the majority charge carriers. Okay, and in a common collector transistor, input resistance, so in common collector transistor, input resistance is very high. Okay, and C transistor configuration is most often used because of, okay, we have three types of transistor: common base, common emitter, common collector. Among three, common emitter transistors are very useful. Why? Because it gives high power. Okay, so it gives the high power gain. So it gives the power gain, high power gain, This is the answer for the fourth question. And fifth question is actually, this is a IIT JAM question. So IIT JAM question in 2018. Okay, so in part A, we got this question from IIT JAM. For using a transistor as an amplifier, give a answer regarding the resistance of base emitter and base collector junction. Okay, already explained the main purpose of transistor is amplification. So already we know that important point. So we have three, if you take this transistor, this is a transistor. So NPN or PNP transistor, this is a PNP or NPN transistor. So this is a base and this is a collector and a emitter. Okay, so this junction we call as emitter base junction, and this junction we call as a base collector junction. Already I explained to you. So emitter base junction always in forward bias. Okay, when this one is forward bias, nothing but conductivity high, resistance low. Okay, this is the answer. And the reverse bias nothing but conductivity low, resistance high. I mean, so here always when transistor behave like as amplifier, always emitter base junction always has low resistance. Okay, low resistance. And reverse bias, so this base junction always in reverse bias and it has high resistance. So this is the answer. Okay, so thank you one and all. So thank you for, once again I thank you to our principal sir, gave this opportunity. Thank you one and all.